Hello, welcome to Earn My Vote. I'm Al Edmondson, and today I have with me Judge Kimberly Cocroft, Franklin County Common Pleas Judge. She's running for office this year in this next upcoming election. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you today?
Good, good. So thank you for coming. I know you got a busy day.
Thank you for having me. You're a busy man as well, so
Yeah,
thank you.
a little bit. But I know you're coming up for election again.
Yes.
And so one of the things I wanted to find out, because we don't see a lot of African American women sitting on in courts
Right.
As a judge. So why did you decide that you want to become a judge? Let's start there.
Absolutely. It's a really interesting story. I had no idea that I would ever serve as a judge. I don't have a political background. I don't come from a political family. And at the time that I became a judge, there were two vacancies in the Court of Common Pleas.
Okay.
I was working for Governor Strickland at the time, and under the Ohio Constitution, the governor is responsible for filling judicial vacancies initially.
Right.
And so my boss, the chief counsel for the governor, came to me and said, I think you would be a really good judge. Have you ever thought about serving as a judge? And I had never worked on a political campaign, no political aspirations. And I thought about it and I said, well, let me pray about it, see what God says, and then I'll make a decision.
Well, that's the way to go.
Absolutely. And so I prayed about it. God said, don't be afraid of their faces. I took that as my confirmation to move forward. I filled out a job application like any other job. I interviewed like any other job. I was a finalist. The governor picked me, and 7 years later, I'm here. So
Wow. So the last 7 years that you've been on as a judge on the bench.
Yes.
So how's it been?
It's been an amazing experience. There are times in life when you know that you were doing what you were created to do.
Okay.
And I know that this is absolutely the assignment that I have for my
Right.
life. And so there are times that I'm incredibly frustrated, I'm sad, but there are also times when I see my defendants understanding what it is that I'm trying to communicate to them. They're changing their lives, and that's always inspiring. So I love every facet of my job.
Right. One of the things, like most people in our community probably don't know exactly what type of job you have as far as common pleas, because
Sure.
when I think of going to court, you don't really learn about a judge or what they do until you sitting there, whether it's traffic, whether
Right.
it's burglary, in one of those cases. But common pleas. So describe a little bit about what's your role and responsibility as a common pleas judge.
Sure. So the jurisdiction of my court is felony criminal cases. So I tell people it's everything that you see on the 11 o'clock news.
Okay.
Murder, rape, robbery, kidnapping, possession of drugs, trafficking in drugs, arson, theft, receiving stolen property, Medicaid fraud,
Right.
insurance fraud. It's all of those serious crimes.
Okay.
And then I'll handle civil cases where the parties are suing for $15,000 or more. So if you've been in a car accident,
Right.
your car is totaled, you can't work, all of your damages total 15,000 or more, I would hear that kind of case. So it's really serious stuff that I'm dealing with on a daily basis.
Oh yeah, when you say murders,
Right.
criminal, robbery, all
Yes.
those type of things, those are the things that are in our community.
Absolutely.
So I think looking at you as a judge in this upcoming election, I think is very important that our people know definitely what common pleas means, and then also who's sitting there,
Right.
because it can determine the outcome of their future for most of our young, especially our young black men that we're talking about now,
Absolutely.
involved in gun violence and these things that we see every day at 11 o'clock, like you said.
Right.
And I think it's so important that they, I guess we got to find a way to talk to them before they sit before you.
Absolutely.
Because if I'm sitting at you, it's not probably really good.
It's not a good time. I'm in an official capacity. The law compels me to do certain things.
Right.
And so what I've tried to do as an outreach of my role as a judge is I've partnered with Columbus City Schools
Okay.
to go into the schools and talk with students about the consequences of negative choices, but the power of positive choices.
Right.
And so that initiative, I first approached Columbus City Schools 2 years ago.
Right.
We were able to kick things off this year. And so I've been to Independence. Next week I go to Marion Franklin in Northland. I've spoken at Eastmore Academy's baccalaureate program. I've been at Shady Lane Elementary. I've been at Buckeye Middle School.
Wow.
Wherever people want to hear from me
Right.
and what it is that I do and why I want to see these kids lead productive lives, I'm happy to go and talk with
Right.
them.
And I think that's so important, because a lot of times we don't see our elected officials in our communities, especially in our schools.
Absolutely.
And by you taking that initiative to be in the schools, it doesn't do nothing but create positivity,
Right.
especially for a young African American girl who sees a judge and maybe one day wants to be a judge, so she can look at you. It's like, I remember Judge Cocroft came into the school and she talked to me about making right choices. She talked to me about these different things that helped me overcome my circumstances in my neighborhood.
Right.
And so, that's so important that you do that. I really appreciate that, because a lot of people don't know what people do
Right.
until times like this where somebody just say, hey, what do you do, and how important it is to you.
Right.
So now, is there anything you want to share?
Well, I just want to thank you again for the opportunity to talk to the community and let them know that I am invested in the work that I do. This is not a commitment of convenience. I'm not just participating in my community at election time, but for the 7 years that I've been on the bench, I have been actively involved in trying to strengthen our community. I understand that our judges should reflect the diversity of the communities that we serve, and so it's important to have people who are going to be sensitive to the challenges of all ethnically diverse people, but particularly African Americans. And so I am hopeful, everybody, that I will get your support on November the 8th, 68 days till Election Day.
Wow, it's here.
It's here. Early voting starts October 11th, so if people aren't registered, make sure that you register. I think that the cutoff is October 11th.
Yes, it is.
Your vote is your voice, and so we need everybody to be engaged in the process.
Well, I was going to ask you, what are you going to say or do to earn your vote? But you just explained it all. So it's good, though. But hey, I just want to thank you for being here today with me.
Thank you so
It
much.
means a lot to our community to have you in our schools and being here talking to the community today. So I really appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
I'm Al Edmondson. I got Franklin County Common Pleas Judge Kimberly Cocroft sitting here with me today. Stay tuned for the next candidate. God bless.
Peace.